Dust storm?
Yeah.
No, that isn't. I used to ask my sister-in-law what it was. They've gone through a couple dust storms. It must do havoc on the cars though, because it fills up the dust into the air intake.
It's recording.
Couple more minutes.
Going up to Boston on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Did you win another one?
Yeah.
Really?
Busy.
Yeah, I did.
Gotta keep busy.
Then my brother-in-law asked me, he says, hey, I got tickets too. I'm going up Friday. I said, oh, I'm going up Tuesday.
Yeah.
The Mass Pike's a pain in the neck.
I know. It is.
Oh, it really is.
We were coming back on Mass Pike on a Sunday, and I thought to myself, boy, it's still busy as all heck.
Yeah, and they do a lot of construction too.
Yeah,
At
yeah.
night.
Well, that's the same thing up here in Meriden too,
What
with
did you do there?
the connection.
Get up in Boston, fix the trip.
Okay, call to order at 7 o'clock. Okay.
Got one more.
What clock are we on? What's wrong with it? Lower control board, other product. Skip them.
Okay, all set?
Okay.
Okay.
Call to order because we don't have any audience of citizens. Approval of minutes. July 22nd.
I make a motion to approve the minutes as stated.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. And, discussion.
Nick, were you second?
Yes.
It's been moved and seconded. No discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Unanimous? Okay, business.
I'd like to, just as a acknowledgement of Bruce's passing, because I wasn't here for the mass in early August because I was on vacation, but another moment of silence because we did have him when he was ill. This would mean as in his passing. Bruce basically, I think it's well over 34 years that he's actually participated in a good portion of it. My period here, he's always been the chairperson. So just a quick moment of silence, I think would appreciate it. And before we actually get started on the election of officers, which needs to be done as a result of his passing. So. Did anybody go to mass for Bruce's?
I went to the calling.
Yeah, I had a tree planted in North Carolina to see sometime. As you all know, Bruce was pretty an avid hiker, biker, outdoorsman. So I think it was kind of, yeah, skiing.
I didn't know that I went to the calling and I saw the picture.
Yeah, he definitely was an active gentleman. So I thought that was kind of nice. And in all sense of a word too, of an environmentalist too. So I think that was sort of another thing, and that's probably what kept him here, associated with the drinking water program particularly.
Extremely knowledgeable about the past.
Oh yeah, experience as well too. So the first item on here is the election of officers. This is a little bit of an interesting thing because we do have to elect a chair formally, a vice chair, and we have another situation as well too as a result of the loss of one staff person. We can now there are several alternates. I think all three of you are alternates. Between the three of you, you can make a decision as to who wants to take the position as a full person in terms of the program, the board membership, because we would have to reapply and become board members. I know Sebi has quite a bit of history. He's on the board, Warren as well. Jim, you're just brand new. So, but anyway, so those three things we really have to take care of at this point in time: the chair, vice chair, and the alternate selection, which would go to a full membership. So, vice chair, I guess as you can run the situation now and see if there's any motions for a chair.
Do I have any motions for a chair?
Am I seated? Am I seated for this?
I guess you'd be seated, yeah. Al is not online, as far as I know, so.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I make a motion, Liam, as chairperson. I'll second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded for chair.
So this would be Liam as chair, motion made by Sebi, seconded by Nick.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Vice chair,
Vice chair. Make a motion for Nick.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? No discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
seems like the Mattabesset has got us under control here.
Now,
We have a coup, is that?
we're well represented.
Okay, well, congratulations to both of you.
Okay, now, as far as the third, we have to make a decision who's going to be the permanent alternate.
I think that you gentlemen three have to really kind of decide who wants to take on the position as a full-time position rather than an alternate. And as I said, if you go to the next step, then the next step would be to reapply. I see that as being perfunctory, and it's not going to be a big issue.
The alternates serve a 3-year term. And they told me that you have to reapply on the same application to just be moved to a regular position. And then we would have an open alternate position.
I just noticed Al's on there. Yeah. Here.
I have to change you to, let me, attendees. I can change you to 50 years.
Apparently,
I can allow.
we can't hear you.
ask him to be.
Al, can you hear us now?
Now I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Very good, thank you.
Okay, good.
We
Yeah,
just
now
started.
now I have a microphone button. I didn't have
Okay.
one. I couldn't-
We elected the chair, Liam Mitchell, and the vice chair is Nick
Okay,
Stephen. Okay. And we're now considering one of the alternates as being a full membership.
I'd like to make one comment.
Yep.
We are probably gonna sell our home in the next year or two and probably move out of Berlin.
Oh,
So I don't think I should be considered for the
okay.
permanent.
So
I'm
Sebi?
interested. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
interested in, because I've been,
And I would just defer because I'm so new.
Okay, so
I respect C's.
So if you,
so Warren, I miss you already. Where are you going to be going?
Don't know yet.
Oh,
We're
wow.
looking at apartments, but we're gonna sell the home.
Well, we got a lot of apartments in Berlin now, you know.
I looked at those already. They don't have a walk-in shower, so they're,
Oh, geez.
wife needs a walk-in shower.
Well, we got
Yeah,
another.
the new ones right there,
We got
By
another
Road?
subdivision going up
no,
on.
by Payne Road.
We got another subdivision going up on Kensington Road, which is going to be over 55. So it could be smaller homes, 1,900
Well,
square
it-
feet. So I'm just giving you a heads up.
I don't want a home anymore. That's sort of what I got, so probably Rocky Hill or West Hartford.
Okay. Well,
Either one, I don't think it's gonna be Berlin based on what I've seen so far.
okay.
so Jim's coming on and
Oh, Jim.
asked him to be a panelist last week. Can you hear us?
Yep. Good evening, folks.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we're all set with the election of officers. The next item is the drinking water. I do this more or less to keep you apprised of what's going on nationally because frankly, there's a lot of information being cast around all over the place. And so I don't know how much you've gleaned from what was going on. But unfortunately, I get, this is the problem. I don't know what the impact is to our state. Both clean water funds and drinking water funds were substantially cut. And that's a little bit of a problem because we were looking at federal funds. To my knowledge, it isn't going to impact us with the current proposal that I have before us, which is the interconnection with Meriden. It may slow us down. Right now, I'm pretty sure we're all set with that. We're moving forward, hopefully going to bid sometime in the next month, either September, October, right at this point in time. There was a 65% cut in the drinking water SRF and 55% nationally. So that's a significant cut. And as you all know, infrastructure is still a very big issue and requires a lot of money. So this is going to set us back for a while, but we'll see where it goes. Capital improvement projects. I'm a little bit of this year, a little bit ahead of the curve. I figured I would do this earlier than later. I did a capital improvement plan. Pass that around. I think I made enough. 3, 6. Al, I haven't had a chance to send this out. I just I'll send it out to you by email.
Okay.
Just copied it this morning. We had a slight revision that went in there. Basically, it outlines what I see is our capital improvement plan for about the next 10 years for water and sewer. There are a lot of projects basically that have deferred in terms of timing because of financing. But nonetheless, the biggest issue right now for me is Meriden, and then from Meriden's perspective, once that connection goes, then the tank. This year, I mentioned it in the last meeting, Al, and I'm not sure if you had seen it, but I had 2 companies come in and do an evaluation of the storage tank, and both indicated there was enough corrosion in there to drain the tank and do the work. So my thought on that is that sometime next year that would possibly be done after an interconnection with Meriden, because then we can basically not worry about having to take the tank out of service and create a problem in terms of distribution in that area. So that's one of the big issues. There are a couple of other items in there too. I'm looking at an interconnection long-term with Middletown. As Warren knows, he did some of the work with that. What we're missing is really a meter station. Potentially, there was a sub-agreement with them. Would probably have to be modified because I don't know if you know, Guy Russo passed away.
No, I didn't know.
Yeah, Guy passed away about a month or so ago. And then actually less than that because he passed away just about before my vacation. And because I wasn't able to go to his funeral as well.
We had allowed for a meter pit there. I mean, we had the pipes running in.
You do.
And the valves
It's just a matter of putting in a meter pit and then brushing off the old agreement with them and seeing how that works. Cromwell is still interested in a secondary connection, and that would be almost the same location where that secondary connection is. So I'm hopeful that that's still, but I have to push that back a ways because that isn't a priority right at the moment.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure, go right ahead.
Yeah, the water main relining East Berlin, why is there a spike of 2.5 million on year 27?
Because what I'd like to do is start that by actually taking a loan out at that time, another SRF loan if it's possible, because I think that project is going to be over $5 million, something in that range.
That much for East Berlin.
Yeah, because what we have is we have a couple of places where we have main replacements and then main relining, and then the main, the actual main, the 12-inch main that goes along Main Street, believe it or not, it was not interconnected. It was only interconnected with the 6-inch line, which I would like to abandon in place and then have all the connections made to the 12-inch. So all of that is going to be a substantial amount of work, and I think that probably in the range of $5 million. So that's what I'm doing here, is trying to accumulate some funds to actually bring us to that
Town
point.
council go up for bonding on that? Or?
Oh, they will have to, yeah. And actually, for the Meriden project, we're going to be doing that soon. That's about, but we wouldn't go out until we have a bid proposal. Yeah,
So
we
that'd be in
think it's
28.
about 1.6, but here's the problem with the tariffs and everything. We're not really sure if the ductile iron is going to cost us more, and the material costs are going to go up a little bit. So, because originally,
Extending the water main on Kensington Road.
yeah, I don't know if that's
Gonna loop out
realistic.
there in front of Orchard Road, bring it out there.
Yeah.
Back to the,
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's realistic. We did a proposal. WMC actually did a small design, figured out the cost was going to be 2.2 million. I know you gentlemen originally, back about 2 years ago, were not in favor of it because it's a whole bunch of private wells that are basically have had problems. I put it down only because it was put on the DWSRF loan program. Not sure that I would go forward with it. Obviously, I'd have to be going back to the board here for your consensus to go forward with it. I put it down as a placeholder. I'm not really sure.
Is there any other places in town
Yeah,
that would drastically change that whole neighborhood?
Yeah, the other one I would like to do, because it was on the list before I even started, which is now 10 years, over 10 years, is the loop Weathersfield Road. Weathersfield Road, for some reason, and I have no history with it, so I don't really know. It's kind of disjointed. It doesn't have, it goes part of the way and then picks up part of the way, and it's missing a couple of pieces. So that whole section would need to be, I think, looped up into our distribution system. And some of the other things are ongoing, purchasing of grid meters. As you know, we're getting quite a few customers. The Daddio property, he already paid me for the first building, and he's going to be paying for the other 4 buildings. Aracini over there on Episcopal Road is almost ready to start with his apartments. Snow over here with the small homes is finished his. We put the meters in there. He's got another project down the street. We have another project here on Kensington Road with like 57 units. Over in Warren's area, we have 57, I think it's 57 units also of townhouses that are going in as phase 5 of Beckley Farm. So all those are.
How many is proposed for Norton Road and Kensington Road?
Something in the vicinity of 52 to 57. It depends on the.
Are they going to be apartments, or are they?
No, they're actually. We just found out last Friday from the potential developer that they're going to be small homes, 1,800, 1,900 square feet homes, and they're going to be. I think that's what they're shooting for, is limiting it to 55 and older. So yeah.
So there'll be some.
Yeah, but they're going to be independent homes. I don't know how the administrative part of that works.
Yeah, then Ray, we may have another proposal on Meadow Lane. I've talked to the prospective property owner in the old Ram Farm area, and we might be talking about 60 to 70 to 80 homes again.
Right, Steve McClarty.
Yes.
Where the hell is that?
That's at the end of Lower Lane, well, at the end, far end, southern section of Lower Lane, that big farmland over behind Peterbilt, that whole section is going to be developed. It was originally years ago, Broadview came in and wanted to put in, 300 something units there now. I haven't seen anything formally on this, but this is going to be another area that's going to be developed. So, and then also here on Norton Road and Four Rod Road, that area that was just hayed just recently, that corner is going to be an industrial complex with 4 or 5 buildings there too. So we've got quite a few things going. So it'll be interesting to see. We're up to about 3,006 customers at this point that Connecticut Water Company is actually overlooking. So I suspect in the 2 years, it'll be probably close to 3,500 or something in that range.
Do we have enough water without Meriden?
Actually, yes. Meriden would be only used for the tank. We're not utilizing our well field completely. It's a 1 million gallon well field, but we only use about 60.62 MGD every year, average. And also I have a 2 million gallon, 2 MGD diversion permit from New Britain. We only use about 500,000. We have a 500,000 diversion permit from MDC, which we don't use at all, and that's on Rowley Street. So we have that connection as well. We also have a Woodlawn well that has got a little bit of a contamination, but would need to be treated. That's 2/3 of a million gallons. And in Bicentennial, there's a Bicentennial well that also needs treatment. And that's probably in the vicinity of 3/4 of a million gallons. So,
All this development really.
yeah, and then a connection with Meriden, a connection with Middletown, a connection with Cromwell puts us in a pretty good light in terms of supply. So the matter is how do I shift them and use them in terms of the best, in terms of financially. So that's going to be a big problem, big question. I'm going to need some of your background, financial background. Okay, so that's
So this is a 5-year
that's the
plan.
capital improvement plan. Yeah, it's more than 5 years, 10 years. A Mattabesset invoice. Okay. We received partial payment from Kensington Fire District. We sent them a letter back and said, you still owe us about $500,000. Haven't got a reply back. Their attorney basically told our attorney that he's going to get back to him. He hasn't get back to him at all. So basically that's the status quo. Worthington Fire District did pay their balance, and they came in about a week ago, so that payment was made. So that's where we stand right now. So we still have an outstanding non-payment from Kensington, and no idea when that'll be made. There's no indication. There's been no correspondence, so we're kind of out in the dark on this one.
This seems to go on and on. This isn't the first time, correct?
No, this isn't the first time. In fact, this is the email that I got on August 18th from our attorney with the discussion he had with Attorney Pentor, who represents Kensington Fire District. He says, "Hi, Rick. The town has not received a response to its 7/17 and 7/28 correspondence," which is not surprising because they never respond back to anything. With respect to the jurisdictional issue, whether Stop and Shop, BWC, or KFD's customer, recommendation was made to BWCC at its next meeting to submit the issue to Central Connecticut WUC. And that's what we're suggesting, is that we're going to send this to the WUC, the Water Utility Coordinating Committee, for some kind of resolution. Have them take a look at it and discuss whether we should be the actual exclusive service area provider. And please get back to me within the week on KFD's response to the BWCC correspondence, and that was for the balance due. Nothing has occurred.
It's 571,000.
Something in that range.
Okay.
So what we want to do is we want to send that to the WUC, and that's on a further item down there. And I think I'd like to have a vote for that one. But anyway,
I do have a question. And, you mentioned before that historically, Mattabesset sends the bill and it's sent to us.
correct.
And I don't know where you're getting all this money from to end up paying bills that aren't our bills, but that's beside the point. The thing that you're saying is that through history in that, we have always done it. But
As far as I
why
know.
do we have to continue to do it? When we get our next bill,
We'll talk about that in a second.
Well, but you know what, and Dave, and this is the first time I came here, that was my problem with it too. It didn't make any sense to me why we were being held accountable for somebody else's bills. But the problem is that the distribution systems, whether it be water or sewer, are so complex and so crazy, it doesn't make any sense. There should not be 3 entities. That's where it goes by. It boils down to the fact that you should only have one entity, because I can't, I'll give you an example. Peach Street down here, half the street is mine, Berlin, and the other half is Kensington's. And every once in a while I make a mistake and say, okay, I send our guy out there and say, oh no, it's not our customer, it's their customer. And that's the way it is. We have 3 or 4 streets that are in the middle of the street, half of it is ours and half of it is theirs. However, if a main break occurs, who do you think is going to repair it? I'm going to repair it because I represent the town. I don't want the town coming back and saying, oh, you're making decisions that are not helpful to the town by not doing it just because it's theirs. No, we have to kind of correct it. So we're hopefully the ones that have to bend on this whole thing. Now,
Ed Lynch, who represents the Mattabesset, wrote back a letter, and I have to show you the letter. I personally don't think it was that great, but anyway, the whole basis of his letter is that it's been historical. Not that it's been required, it's been historical. And that's it. And there's a provision in their actual charter that says we have to agree to not pay for the others, which we don't. We don't agree to this, but they've ignored it completely.
Up until the last.
I am not getting an answer here that I understand. I know historically you have always done it. Historically, Kensington is just thumbing their nose at us. So I end up saying that what I would like to see us do, when you get the next bill, you figure out how much we owe, you use the meter readings and everything, you send the check back to Mattabesset, you tell them this is how much the others, and you go after them.
Dave, simply, the answer is it's chain of custody. We're the last ones that hold the wastewater before it goes to Mattabesset. It's in our pipes. So they receive wastewater from Rural Water Control Commission, not Kensington.
We'll straighten it out.
I would love to do that.
Boy,
I would love to
You'll
do
answer
that.
all your questions. Anyway.
We'll give Warren that responsibility just before he leaves. No, I would love to do that, but you know what? I just don't see it happening. I mean, I've gone every which way, and Art Simonian is entrenched with it, even though he was a public works director here. He still sees it as, we're still responsible for the other two entities.
I end up looking at it as a total lack of fiduciary responsibility
that's why
to the people in the Berlin district.
Yeah, but when it all boils down, it should boil down to one utility. That's the matter. That's the whole
We'll
crux.
answer all these questions in executive session.
All right.
He's keeping you in suspense.
I know,
anyway.
he is.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's the status of the Mattabesset. Now, townwide's not much better, unfortunately. I just talked to Jim Erickson this morning. Townwide status report is going to be sometime in October. I do have something to pass out, but I'll pass that out in discussion at the when we get to executive session. One of the problems they're having is how to assess. Don't forget, it's Haley Ward plus Reftilis. Reftilis is the financial entity. They built a mechanism for evaluating the both districts based on their CIP, construction work in progress and whatever, and that's part of the problem. And I'll point that out to you separately. Anyway, sewer infrastructure evaluations, DPC are supposed to, and I'm hoping that they still meet that requirement. They're supposed to give us an evaluation of our sewer system. Hopefully, they said the end of August, so it's going to be cutting it close. But they are pretty much pretty much down to the wire on that one. That'll give us an understanding of what the value of our sewer system is. And actually, I think it'll be higher than the water system because of the two relining projects that we did. The Water Utility Coordinating Committee, I need a vote on this. What we want to do is this. The attorney and actually talked with Jim, myself, and Ryan on this. So suggested that we basically go to the Water Utility Coordinating Committee. There's 3 different committees in the state, Eastern, Central, and then Western. And we happen to fall in the Central one. It's made up of regional people, health department employees, and also utilities. So we would be making the position or argument in front of the utilities and other utilities. And what we would be arguing is 2 issues. One is the Missouri Drive. Our customers basically, and you recall, Jim Horrible had made a presentation here, and we approved it. It hasn't gone anywhere, basically because what do you call it? Worthington refuses to acknowledge that those customers are ours. So that's where the problem is. And then Stop and Shop is an interesting one because we are convinced that service area is ours, but they still consider it as being theirs. However, they're going to be reimbursing us for the water and sewer, which I don't understand. If it's really ours, then it shouldn't be theirs in terms of that. But the other issue here is that, you know, when Stop and Shop is valued at $9 million and basically they have a 1.1 mill rate, that's a lot of money for them. So I think that's one of the reasons that they don't want to give that up very quickly. So in other words, I think our best argument at this point in time is send this to the Water Utility Coordinating Committee, make the presentation to them, and see where it goes from them. That would be my recommendation, and
So this is the stalling tactic that they decided to use, or is this?
well, I think this is kind of putting it in front of your peers and saying, here, we have an issue here. We want your input on it and see where it
They have any
goes.
clout? Just their opinion?
No. The only cloud is that it's basically a compendium of utilities of the entire, from the north to the south, of centralized. And you're talking about MDC, you're talking about Regional Water Authority, you're talking about, you know, all the utilities in that whole corridor, basically looking at this and saying, okay, is it theirs or yours or what? And based on the information presented, they'll make a decision on that. Now,
Ray, Ray, if I can add something to that.
go ahead.
As you know, the past couple of days, we received information from the town clerk's office, and they were able to actually pull up the legislative boundaries of both Worthington and Kensington when they were incorporated back in 1921, 1920. And they have the handwritten descriptions, and they're actually meets and bounds descriptions, Warren, you know what I'm referring to. And we actually pulled up a couple of maps. They're in my office, and I'm sorry I'm not there tonight, that are dated back in like 1926, one to the 50s. And if you follow the meets and bounds descriptions of the districts, it clearly shows the north side of Farmington Avenue, including the area where Stop and Shop is within the territorial limits of Berlin Water Control. I've sent some correspondence to Worthington, asking them for the territorial limits if they have it on file. I've received nothing. I've also asked if they have any memorandums of understanding where customers were swapped in that area. There is nothing on file. They have not produced anything. So I just want to add that for the record.
The other thing I should add up is that the attorney for them, representing them, Mr. Tim Sullivan, basically has indicated that he would go along with this, with our attorney, to bring it to the WUC to have it evaluated. So on a separate track, which was sort of unknown to us until just recently, the chair of Worthington Fire District was actually reached out to the Central Connecticut Health District, trying to get an opinion from them as to the conditions and the problem that occurs, and a statement showing that there's a public health or a public safety issue. And they didn't want to issue anything because it's outside their abilities. So I suggested to them what they should do is just forward it to the state health department. That's where the drinking water program authority lies. So that gets them off the hook. There's not an issue with the restaurant there, so that's not the problem. So
What about Worthington Heights
Worthington Heights.
or Webster Heights?
What about Webster?
They've got more dead ends there than.
Oh,
anywhere else.
I understand. Their argument is kind of crazy because they're focusing in on this, but they're not focusing in on all their other problems
Well, that's
and the
my
problems
point.
that they want to create, let alone have.
What is it, 100 feet, Jim? You're
75 feet, perhaps.
75.
Yeah, it's not
I
a lot.
got twice that they got on my place, so that they're not addressing.
So anyway, what I'd like to see is, if you agree, that this goes to the WUC, where we would make a presentation. Right now, I'm trying to set up something because the WUC hasn't met in quite a while, and see if we can work it through that way. This is difficult because, again, Worthington, whether it's Worthington or Kensington, haven't been active participants in anything. Their whole modus operandi is basically to ignore and not to reply. And if you don't
What's our
reply and
next move
ignore,
after this?
you don't have anything. Excuse me?
What's our next move after this?
I would say after this, if they vote to agree with us, basically, then they'd have to file an appeal. I don't think they would win, and then we could go forward. But if we were to go to any kind of legal route, this would be an example of our
Another
you know,
example.
doing a positive action.
Excuse me, Ray.
Sure.
Would you incorporate the maps that Jim is offering into that discussion with the water utility?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. When I made a
Yeah.
presentation, I'd have to go through that whole scenario. Yeah, and even the most current maps, you know, if you'd ask Worthington or Kensington to give you a map of the current, that area is designated as ours. It's
Okay,
not even the question.
Okay.
I mean, that's the whole, that's the
Okay.
funny part about
Okay.
it. I mean, they're not contesting that.
Okay, do I have a motion
sure. I'll make a motion to go along with Mr. Ray.
for the Water Utility Corporation?
Yes.
Water Utility Coordinating Committee.
Coordinating Committee.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Should be a short meeting.
All in favor?
Yeah,
Aye.
I think it should.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay,
No.
thank you.
Passes.
That's a real positive anyway. We'll see what happens. Last item is, because we've had some discussions and Liam's brought this up a couple times about hydrants. Basically, the biggest things with hydrants is regular maintenance. We, as you know, do a flushing every year. We try to do it anyway, flushing most years. A couple times if we have a very dry year, we basically put that off. But relatively speaking, we always try to do it. That's our opportunity to fix the hydrants as well, because we end up finding out, and we've had a couple of hydrants that we've had to either replace or revise or update. So I just want to point that out, is that that's a routine thing. So it's not just flushing that we do on a regular basis. And we have about 500 hydrants right now in our distribution system. So we have quite a bit.
That's a good working part of it, but the whole thing about it was flow, so the trucks had enough water to fight the fire
Yeah.
when they have a hydrant.
And
That could be a lead issue.
yeah. And the lifespan of a hydrant is estimated to be 50 years. Ours are pretty close to that 50-year mark.
What's this 30,000 include?
Yeah, well, what we buy, we buy hydrants, but we also buy meters. Our meters are, so the hydrants and meters are in the same category, basically.
Yeah, that's gonna be lopsided.
We don't, a lot of times we put that in, but we don't buy all the hydrants. It depends on the materials and supplies that we have on hand.
So we have a program of what ones we're gonna be replacing.
Yeah, well, we've been replacing them right off the bat. As soon as we find out about them, we replace them or
But you
rebuild
don't
them.
have a list that you go by.
No, we
certain
don't.
streets?
No, we don't. That's something I need to develop somewhere down the line. That's sort of an asset list.
When you replace these hydrants, do you have a file that shows?
Yeah, we have
age
them.
that you say they're only good
Yeah,
for
we have them
50
listed
years?
by streets now. So that's one of the things that I had it inventoried. So basically, I have a better perspective of when they actually went in. So
How many are actually defective and how many are just
not
functioning?
many.
So
We've had a
100%.
few that were difficult to open, and we'd have to go back and grease them up a little bit. And maybe they open up a little. We've had a couple that have O-rings that have had problems with leakage. When we did our last leak detection survey back in April and May, we found about 5 hydrants that had some minor leaks in it. So those were corrected. So our leak detection program, I like doing that almost every year now. It's about $10,000 or $11,000. I think it's well worth it. Yeah, the funny thing about it is you always find something, and you think you're off on the hook just because you've done it, but then in the following year there's always something to pick up a leak here or there.
Now, does the fire department ever reach out to you about that?
No, that's been another problem. Liam knows about this, is that we're concerned about not only our own, but the district ones, because the district ones we don't know too much about. We do know that there's been several hydrants out there, and the fire department's been very knowledgeable of the fact that certain hydrants in both districts, whether it be Worthington or Kensington, are problematic. They automatically send a tanker truck out there because they know that the hydrant isn't sufficient for capacity wise. We've just recently had one of our hydrants over at Home Depot tested, and it tested at over 1,000 gallons per minute. So we feel pretty confident. Other than East Berlin, I have a couple of hydrants in East Berlin. very much concerned that, but most of our system otherwise is pretty good, so.
Yeah, the minimum, I think, is 500 gallons a minute for a truck to operate.
And so
That should
I
be
think
our
we can go into executive session, and one other thing I want to pass out to you when we do go into that. So, and then Al and Jim, we can stay online, there's nobody else, we just
Okay.
would report it.
Yep.
Okay, do I get a motion to go into executive session?
Sure, I make a motion to go into executive session.
Second.
I'm sorry, I missed word mouths.
He
Who made the
I made the
second?
motion.
seconded. Yeah, moved and seconded.
Take one of each of them.
Any discussion? Okay,
You're gonna have to wait
all
now.
in favor? All opposed?
No, I just need to figure out.
Yeah, it's two different pages.
All right.
It's 2 pages?
Yeah. One's Worthington.
Okay, do I get a motion to get us out of executive session?
I make a motion.
You make a motion, got a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion? Anybody, take a vote,
8:07.
all four?
Nope.
Aye.
All right.
Opposed?
Okay, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn?
I'll second it.
You don't need a second.
Doesn't hurt though.
Sounds good, right?
I got peach pie.
Okay, did it answer your question? Was it
Yeah,
worth
yeah,
was it worth it to you?
And who
But
picks up
nobody's
the
been
tab
standing on the side.
Well, it comes out of their budget because it's an expense. Of course,
So if we-
we're paying for
If
it.
we just. if
We're
they-
paying
if-
for it. Him and me